Guys, I don't know if you know this, but Senator Blumenthal says U.S. is getting its money's worth in Ukraine because Americans aren't dying, Kurt. So,
yeah, no, I know. I've heard this over and over again from very many people.
Yeah. It's not only the Democrats, the Republicans like Mitt Romney, who said this is great, only for 5% of our budget, and Lindsey Graham, who says the best money we ever spent.
This is like Diet Dr. Pepper, Diet Sprite, Pepsi. Like,
yes,
it's all the fun of Pepsi, but less
of this.
Yeah, this is like War Zero. They're selling it right now.
War Zero,
and
0
get
calories.
To this, like how celebs get addicted to Diet Coke.
Yeah,
this is going to be a new Diet Coke.
Look at him. That's Dick Blumenthal. His name is Richard, but I like to call him Dick. There he is, shaking hands with Zelensky.
Why? Because he's your friend?
Oh, yeah, that's why. Fresh from a trip to Kiev, Senator Richard Blumenthal is arguing that the U.S. is getting its money's worth in Ukraine because Russia is taking losses and no Americans are dying.
I gotta say,
showing a lack of concern for Ukrainian lives.
I think that's a pretty low bar for getting our money's worth, I must say. No Americans are dying. I feel like that should just, in a war that's thousands of miles away, I feel like that's just a given. There should be no Americans dying since we're not in the war directly.
Not yet.
Russia is taking losses. Are they taking enough losses? It sounds like they're doing a lot better than we were in Afghanistan and Vietnam.
Well, here's the thing, Kurt. It's like a 1-7, 1-8 ratio of Ukrainian losses to Russian losses.
I haven't seen video of Russia grabbing people off the street in their mid-40s and shoving them into vans
to take them to the front line to get butchered. And I
saw a POW interview.
Yes.
Now, maybe he's being forced by Putin to say the things he said. But he's 45. How's a 45-year-old end up on the front lines?
Because they're taking everybody.
Yeah, they bring in papers and you got to go in. Yeah,
they're taking everybody they can.
Isn't it worth it to save America some money and lives?
Well, it's just so. I mean, hashtag Ukrainian Lives Matter. It should be the next hashtag.
They go, we talk to the Ukrainians, which means they talk to the small amount of people who aren't getting ground up into chop meat.
Yeah.
And they said they'll fight the last Ukrainian. Is that what the guys that they had to stuff in a van said? We'll do that?
They were taking students. They were taking people, injured people, anybody who can walk pretty much, and throwing them on the front line. Even Americans who have no particular interest in freedom and independence and democracies worldwide should be satisfied that we're getting our money's worth on our Ukraine investment, Blumenthal wrote in the Canadian Post.
He's talking directly to billionaires with that one.
Wait a second. Look at this one. For less than 3%, Kurt.
Yeah.
So,
oh, that's good.
Romney said it was less than 5% of our budget. No, less than 3% of our nation's military budget. Well, maybe because our military budget is more than the next 10 countries combined. That might be a problem.
Yeah, that less than 3% of the nation's military budget. I'm like, all that's telling me is the military budget is batshit. If less than 3%. Hey, what percent of the military budget is the $700 shitty payments to the people in Lahaina for their land and missing kids and all? Like, what fraction do you think that is of the military budget? I wouldn't even know how to calculate it. It must be so low.
I just know that it's kind of like less than $2 million, I think, with the $700 per household compared to billions.
It was about $2 million?
It's like something like 1.9 million or something like that.
Oh, my God.
$700 a household.
I'm surprised Mitt Romney didn't add that to his bragging about the savings we've been having with this.
Yeah. And guys, too, you can always hit me up if you want me to ask some questions while I'm in Hawaii. The convocouch at gmail.com, craigjardula@gmail.com. Hit me up if there's questions that you think I should ask, because I'm going, like I said, and I'm going to do some work there. I'm there for 3 days. I'm going to ask, is it $700 a household or $700
what do you get, a check?
person?
Do you have a card like during the pandemic? How did they get the money if you lost everything?
Well, that's the whole thing. Right now, the communications are shut off on the island, which is another thing that's just making
communications are what?
Shut off. A lot of them. A lot of the phones aren't working. The internet's not up in a lot of places. It's still, like I said, Starlink got up for Ukrainian, for Slava Ukrainia over there, so they can have so the Azov battalion can look and know exactly who they're bombing. Thank you, Elon Musk. But they couldn't get that. They couldn't get that up for Lahaina.
Do you like those guys? I'm more of a White Hammer guy myself. White Hammer. They're not all not. Azov's this much. There's also White Hammer.
Yes. For less than 3% of our nation's military budget, we've enabled Ukraine to degrade Russia's military strength by half all without a single American servicewoman or man injured or lost.
But
he
all
added,
of our stockpile.
Eat that, Kurt.
Yeah, but all of our ammunition that we can't make more of.
We were cleaning house up. We got to get new stuff anyways.
Yeah, no, that's what I watched that ex-CIA prick say. He goes, "This is great. We get rid of our old stuff.
Now we get new stuff.
And we can get ready for a China war." I actually watched this maniac say this on a podcast.
Yeah, and act like it's a good thing.
Like you're an idiot, not even
Empire education. We're Captain America going around the globe spreading freedom, truth, and democracy everywhere. Reuters says Ukrainians FM to counter-offensive critic. Shut up, Kurt. Said it plain and simple. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmitry Kuleba hit out on Thursday at critics of Kiev's tactics in the counter-offensive against Russian invasion, saying they were spitting in the faces of the Ukrainian soldiers. And it says right over here, Ukrainian Foreign Minister Kuleba hit out on Thursday, and he said, "You're spitting in our faces. Just shut up," is what he pretty much said. Do we not have the video? We do not have the video. Okay. Damn it. He pretty much said, just shut up. You're spitting in our faces by telling us we're not doing a good job. You got an issue? Grab a tissue. Get on over here and fight yourself.
Well, why
this is spitting in our face because you're saying that we're casualty adverse and we're not doing well on our counter-offensive. Why are they so
casualty averse then? I would counter with this. Why you guys worried about being slaughtered endlessly and no gains of land as if it were World War I? How about that?
Good question. We should go ask.
I say.
Oh, I can go to Maui. I'm not going to Kiev. Sprinter, this is pretty cool. The largest military company has arrived in Ukraine. Russians, they will be the targets. The Kremlin said today that it is not happy with the decision of the British defense company BAES Systems to come to Ukraine, warning that the factories that they will produce weapons for will be used against Russians and targeted by the Russian army.
Oh, here comes World War III. Here comes World War III.
It is, because now they're
the
over
drone
here.
Factory. So that's what all the like propaganda channels I watch. They're like, well, Ukraine's got these drones now. Does that have something to do with BAE Systems by any chance?
I think it does. Asked about the decision, the Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov told reporters, of course, all factories that produce weapons, especially if they are used against us, will attract the special attention of our military. In other words, we will bomb your ass. He said that this decision will not affect the course of the conflict in the Ukraine, nor will it contribute to the reduction of hostilities. BAE Systems, the largest British defense company, announced today that it has opened a subsidiary in Ukraine and signed contracts with the Ukrainian government to arm the Ukrainians. Now,
get ready for boots on the ground from NATO. Get ready.
We talk them there. They are right there. They're shaking hands. Now, we talk about this all the time, right? Like, I mean,
wow.
Every time we think this thing is winding down, we heard that they're casualty adverse. The counteroffensive is failing. They are losing so many men, almost at an 8-to-1 ratio. We keep on thinking that, hey, man, this thing is going to end sooner or later. But then what do we hear? We hear BAE Systems is going on in.
After last,
I keep thinking it's going to end.
On Wednesday, we showed that video of like they're gonna
F-16, baby.
No, they're gonna kick off World War III. Here's the Tonkin coming to get us. Well, look at this drone manufacturer shaking hands with our drone.
Yeah, but he's jacked there. Look at those pipes.
Yo, I like to see Ben Stiller match that.
So Vivek Ramaswamy was talking to Jesse Waters the other day. Now, Vivek Ramaswamy, the reason why I'm highlighting this video is because he was the only sensible one on that stage that really wanted to end the Ukrainian war. Krispy Kreme, Mike Pence.
Who is Krispy Kreme?
Chris Christie.
I am not in a gang. Use their legal names, please.
Krispy Kreme Christie. Is that better if I say the whole thing that way?
Chris Christie.
Chris Christie.
It's a great name.
Chris Christie. Mike Pence. Nikki Haley, Warhawks, crazy. They want World War III. Vivek was the only one who was kind of saying we need to get out of Ukraine. He was definitely down for a war in Taiwan, though. And that's just to show you how the Republicans, the neocons, even the populist right, warmongers are still going to be warmongers.
It also shows you there's a deep, deep Indian thing to fight against China, because all these guys I like, they're Indian. Like, no, China's the enemy. Like, woo,
you said that, not me.
Parents brought that from the old country, huh?
You said that, not me. Well,
that's a traditional.
Some people said is his attitude towards China, is it a cultural bias, or is it something that he's just found from watching right-wing popular? I don't think in
India it says, because they're doing BRICS, aren't they?
They are. And China and India are trading more than ever before.
You tell me it's not like how American Cubans got all... Everybody has well-off parents or something that come to America, they always want the American military to settle grudges in the old country. The Cubans, Eastern Europeans, all of them. Iraq, they brought some guy who's like, yeah, no, you should go kick Saddam's ass. He's the worst. Told them whatever they wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Well, dude, like India and Pakistan, you know what I'm saying? That was caused by the Brits, but yet they still want the Brits and the West to kind of figure it out sometimes. I mean, if you could say what you want to say about Narendra Modi.
The rich people that got on board, every country's the same. The upper class they're global. They're global citizens, the upper caste of society. Yeah. And it's all business and stuff, and everything is like, how do we deal with this rabble?
Yeah. Good point. Let's listen to Vivek, because to me it's kind of absurd. Once again, the fact is that we have driven this kind of love relationship between China and Russia. It was our fault. We pushed them together. Now this guy's saying, I'm going to tell them that they can't have that relationship, like he's dad over here.
I don't want to.
So we heard Trump's concept of stopping the war in Ukraine. He says it's over in 24 hours. How would Vivek Ramaswamy, the president, stop the war in Ukraine?
Very clear vision. I would do a deal that Putin would say yes to, but that actually advances American interests so that the United States wins. Here's what I would do. I would freeze the current lines of control. I would further make a hard commitment that NATO will not admit Ukraine to NATO. That's enough to get Putin to do the deal.
No, it's not.
But I will require something even greater in return, Jesse.
It's not enough to do the deal. That deal has been way off the table for quite some time.
We're going World War III.
He might the deal might say, well, you know what, that Zelensky can't stay in power. You have to remove him. We have to have this guy is talking out his ass right now and acting like he could fix a problem. Like, oh, Donald Trump too as well. Yo, homeboy, you guys were part of the problem to begin with because you kept on arming these Ukrainians for quite some time. Let's not forget, at one point, Donald Trump was holding back arming them, but he went along and gave them the arms and weapons they did. It's not like he removed the government when he was there.
Well, he's the one that laid out why we wanted to destroy that pipeline, which we did.
He said he goes, they're going to be doing business for quite some time together unless we do something about it.
Russia has to exit its military alliance with China.
Russia has to if you want this done, you can't play nicely with China in the sandbox anymore. You got to end their relationship, as if you have the gall and the you-know-what to pull that off. Like you have the right to tell them what to do. Any deal is off the table now, homeboy. This ain't going to be an easy fix out there.
Yeah, well, he's like I said, it's like a bunch of these candidates have like this much of a thing. Like, oh, I kind of agree. And I'm like, oh, here comes the crap. And he's one of them. He's just one of those guys that's half crap. And then Jesse Waters, I didn't make this joke up. My girl said it, but he really does always have the face like he's trying to seduce old ladies. Like he's staring deep into the eye of an old lady and making her feel beautiful.
Dude, don't say that. Look at her face real quick, man.
Yeah, that's a guy.
This guy.
Old ladies go, oh,
this is the guy that's going to replace Tucker. This is what they got. This is all they got.
Yeah, Tucker didn't test well with old ladies like you think.
Ah, here we go.
Right now, we're pushing Russia further into China's hands.
No shit.
The Russia-China military alliance is the single greatest threat that the United States faces today. And so just as Nixon did it in 1972, I'll do it in reverse. Pull Russia apart from China. And by the way, get Russia to also remove its military presence in the Western Hemisphere. Get out of the Western Hemisphere. Reopen economic.
Where are they?
Get out of the West in Latin America.
Russia is in Latin America?
Yeah. Yeah. Russia helps out with Nicaragua's, Russia's in, they're moving in there. They're different spots. You know?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We should strategically pull back some of
Who the hell does he think he is? They got to remove out of the Western Hemisphere. Well, you just creep NATO to the border, but now since you're the new guy here, I'm going to say, oh my God, goody goody gumdrops. It's Vivek Ramaswamy. Now we can do this. Sure, Vivek, we won't deal with China anymore. We'll forget about BRICS. Sure, Vivek, we'll get out of Nicaragua or wherever we're at helping out. We won't go into Africa. Sure, whatever you say, Vivek. This guy is sniffing some serious glue.
I mean, he just sounds like the general politician. You know, that's why people responded to like Trump and also RFK Jr. Because RFK Jr., he answers a lot of these questions in ways that none of them seem to.
Yeah.
Like he'll answer you if you ask him a goddamn question. Yeah. Vivek will, but I mean, that was just
But Vivek is still kind of that neocon, once again, American empire way that where they're allowed to be the police force, we're just going to tell Russia. We're going to give Russia a little nugget, and we're going to tell them that what they can and cannot do. That's just ridiculous because they don't give a shit anymore. We're not in a unipolar world anywhere.
Vivek, wait till we get more bullets, okay?
Yeah. You know what Kennedy's answers are? We're going to close those bases. We're going to move away. We're going to curtail our actions.
Well, because those actions are the single greatest threat. The single greatest threat to America, the first
is America.
1 in 10 are things that are in America.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't Russia.
Come see us live on tour. We're going to be in Toledo, Detroit, St. Louis, Tampa, Boca Raton, Orlando, Dallas, Houston, San Diego, Bloomington, Illinois. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.